Tonight on NewsWatch Ole Miss, yet another round of storms is coming our way in the morning. We'll take a look at the severity of those storms and tell you what you need to prepare for.
The CDC is taking a good hard look at itself next week. We'll have a look at its upcoming evaluation straight ahead.
And as the days get warmer, we enter the heat of wedding season, and this one is expected to be one of the busiest in history. We'll take a look at what's making this year so hectic coming up. NewsWatch Ole Miss starts now. Good evening and welcome to NewsWatch Ole Miss. I'm Annabelle Kenny.
And I'm Kennedy Cooper. Strong thunderstorms rolled through our area last night, bringing golf ball-sized hail to the Jackson area and other parts of the South. Storms will return tomorrow, and again, it looks like the worst of it will miss Oxford. The latest satellite imagery from the National Weather Service in Memphis will show that the slight risk has moved out of our area, but still bring an umbrella on hand as we will see thunderstorms throughout the day.
A suspect is in police custody after a shooting just up I-55 in Hernando that happened yesterday afternoon on East Parkway. Police found the victim, 29-year-old Cordarius Kinshaw Howard, lying on the lawn with a gunshot wound. The suspect, 22-year-old Ladarian Markel Darden, immediately ran from the scene, but police tracked him down shortly after. Howard died from his injuries as he was being transported to a Memphis hospital. Hernando police said that they plan to charge Darden with murder and possession of a stolen firearm.
Sacramento police arrested DeAndre Martin yesterday in the connection to this weekend's shooting, which killed 6 and left 12 injured. Martin was in court today and is facing assault and illegal firearm possession charges, but officials don't think he acted alone. Police think multiple people opened fire on Sunday. Right now, they believe it all started because of a fight, but they are currently sorting through photo and video evidence and talking to witnesses to learn more about the shooting.
In coronavirus news, cases still remain very low on campus today as there is only one active student case and one active faculty case. In the past week, there have been 0 new cases. Across the state, there are 134 newly reported cases, which is up slightly from the numbers of recent weeks.
As several states are seeing slight rises in COVID cases, the Center for Disease Control and Prevention is starting a sweeping review that could result in a new structure for agency. CNN's Amy Kiley has a look at the review.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is used to scrutinizing science. Now the agency itself is under the microscope. Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says the Department of Health will conduct a sweeping review starting next Monday. In a memo to staff, Walensky says it's to improve how the agency communicates with the public and consider a restructuring. That news comes the same day as a bipartisan deal Senator Mitt Romney helped negotiate for his chamber. It's for $10 billion of COVID relief money. The measure would fund therapeutics like oral antiviral pills, and it would support vaccines, testing, and research. What it would not do is send money directly to the CDC. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he wants to vote on the measure this week.
On COVID, very briefly, over the last few days, my Democratic colleagues and I continued talks with Senator Romney and Republicans, working all hours of the night and into the weekend.
This is clearly a huge focus for the president because of the dire need we have at this moment to get this funding through.
The White House says it would like more money in the plan.
Even as we're very encouraged by the progress, we're going to need more because our objective here is to make sure we can have funding for antivirals, the vaccines needed for people for many months to come.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Meanwhile, many Americans are wondering what is going on with COVID-19 booster shots, with questions regarding if the COVID-19 vaccine will become an annual shot. Well, FDA advisors are scheduled to discuss these things at a meeting tomorrow. The FDA recently expanded the emergency use of 2 vaccines so people of 50 years or older can get a second booster shot just 4 months after their first one. Now it will discuss whether to authorize the same for those under 50 and without serious health conditions. The meeting will include an update from experts on coronavirus variants in terms of new variant predictions, vaccine effectiveness, and new data on a fourth dose in older adults.
It can be hard to keep up with all the student organizations on campus, but one has its sights set on fighting period poverty for women in the Ole Miss community. News reporter Phoebe Kramer went to find out more about it. Join us now, Phoebe.
Thanks, Kennedy. I met up with members of Period UM to find out what exactly period poverty is and what they are doing about it here on campus.
The nonprofit organization Period UM Movement is trying to stop period poverty. They fight this problem by supplying menstrual products in the bathroom on campus, along with education and advocacy on periods.
So Period UM is a local chapter of a national nonprofit that is called the Period Movement, and basically we're just focused on destigmatizing conversations around period poverty and conducting service opportunities to combat period poverty within our community, and then also educating people on what periods are and just destigmatizing that whole thing.
This club is open to everyone on campus when they have meetings about service, education, and destigmatizing periods.
Our main goals are service, education, and advocacy. So some ways that we have been advancing those missions on campus is through providing menstrual products on campus, as well as hosting general meetings where everybody on campus is welcome to come. And we have over 160 members so far, which is super awesome. And advocating, so going to legislators, going to lawmakers, and discussing how women should be more represented in government.
You can find more information on their Instagram at Period UM.
You can keep up with Period UM on their Instagram, and to find more information about their meeting, check out their website in the link in bio. Phoebe Kramer, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
Thanks, Phoebe. Today is Giving Day at Ole Miss. This is the third annual Giving Day. It launched at 9 a.m. today and continues into tomorrow. Supporters can make a gift to the university at umfoundation.com/givingday. You can also visit givingday.olemiss.edu to find out what organizations within the university are taking part. Ole Miss has already raised over $350,000 today.
A new ranking from Stacker places several nearby schools among the best public high schools in Mississippi. 60% of score is based on academic and grades, which is calculated using SAT and ACT scores. 10% comes from culture and diversity, and finally 2.5% comes from school, clubs, and activities. Lafayette County High School came in at number 20 on that list. Tupelo High School at 19, and Oxford High came in number 7. The number 1 school listed was the Mississippi School for Mathematics and Science.
The Biden administration plans to announce another extension for federal student loan borrowers. This pause is set to last until the end of August, and the pandemic relief policy, which suspends student loan bills, are scheduled to lapse in May. Even prior to the pandemic, student loans were still a large hassle for many households, and some 40 million people still have debts that are long overdue. An official announcement of the extension is expected on Wednesday.
Spring is here. As we get closer and closer to summer, we enter into wedding season. Experts expect this wedding season to be one of the most hectic in history. NewsWatch reporter Anna Kate Boyd is planning her own wedding and went to find out just how crazy the wedding industry is this year.
I'm here at Castle Hill, where many brides will walk down these exact same steps within the next few months. Wedding coordinator Emily Burton says that many brides are experiencing dress delays, booked venues, and even printing invitation companies are backed up anywhere between 3 to 4 months. Burton says this is causing a lot of stress.
I've seen brides sitting in my office upset, crying, trying to figure out wedding vendors, how having to move their vendors to their new date. That can be very stressful.
Experts are expecting this to be one of the biggest wedding seasons, with an estimate of 2.5 million weddings due to 2020 and 2021 brides bumping up their wedding date. Burton says that Castle Hill, which is a popular family-owned venue in Oxford, are experiencing food shortages due to back-to-back weddings almost every weekend, and there is also tuxedo shortage due to prom season approaching.
Everybody halted their proms, a couple years, and so now everybody's back on doing prom season, so I've had trouble getting tuxes here. I've had to substitute different tuxedos for another tuxedo that the bride might not have chosen.
Bridesmaid dresses are hard to come by as well. Some are out of stock or delayed in shipping. Caroline Cray, who is getting married this upcoming June, has experienced this firsthand.
I have 4 bridesmaids and 2 of them just ordered their dresses on Sunday. And so I'm interested to see how the delayed shipping times affect that, because they've ordered it off of a website and it has to be shipped and then they have to get it altered. So I'm a little worried about that.
Cray is also experiencing lack of communication with vendors, and she's concerned that Ole Miss baseball will be playing regionals the same day as her wedding.
Which is gonna basically just overload the city when we're trying to have all these out-of-town people come in. And so just navigating how that works has been kind of frustrating.
With all the wedding planning stress, Cray is just ready for her honeymoon.
We won't have cell signal and no one can bother me or email me.
Wedding season is back in full swing this summer, and despite all the crazy planning, wedding coordinators, vendors, and local shops are doing all they can to make the bride's day special. Anna Kate Boyd, NewsWatch Ole Miss.
The wedding reports estimate of 2.5 million weddings this year, over double last year's total and the highest number since 1984.
President Zelensky addressed the United Nations today as the organization works to update its response to Russian invasion amid reported war crimes. A look at that address is coming up. But first, here's a look at your current conditions.
Hurricanes and major flooding threaten cities, towns, and rural homes across the Gulf states. So chances are there will be more storms and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Yeah! Sam, Elmo! Oh, hey, Julia. You ready to play band with us? I'm gonna play my clarinet.
And Elmo's gonna play his drum.
Drum loud. Oh, well, you know what to do, Julia.
Julia knows.
Mm-hmm. With Julia's autism, loud sounds can be too much.
But she still loves to make music. Play band.
Early screening for autism can make a lifetime of difference. Find out more at screenforautism.org.
911, where's your emergency?
Everyone's on their way. What happened? Your friend's not breathing. She's dead? Yes, please get my mom and dad. Oh my God!
As graphic video out of Ukraine floods the internet, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is urging the world not to look away. He spoke to the United Nations Security Council today, urging it to do more for his country. CNN's Isabel Rosales has the latest details on the conflict.
A sobering and graphic account of alleged atrocities at the hands of Russian soldiers.
They killed entire families, adults and children, and they tried to burn the bodies.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky demanding accountability, telling world leaders Russia's actions are no different than a terror group.
The most terrible war crimes of all times are we see since the end of World War II.
One big distinction, he says, Russia is a permanent member of the UN Security Council.
Where is the security that the Security Council needs to guarantee? It's not there.
His address comes just one day after visiting mass graves in Bucha, a massacre exposed for the world to see. A growing number of leaders, including President Biden, want Russian President Vladimir Putin on trial for war crimes.
It's a deliberate campaign to kill, to torture, to rape, to commit atrocities.
NATO is now gathering evidence to prove it, according to the alliance's U.S. ambassador. Yet the Kremlin is doubling down, calling the massacre fake. But mass graves and bodies can even be seen from space via satellite imagery. On the front lines, the violence is nonstop. Terrifying moments as a CNN crew comes under artillery fire outside Mykolaiv.
Down here, John, down here.
Danger Ukrainians face every day. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
The Kremlin is calling war crime accusations both disgraceful and unacceptable.
The committee investigating the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol will be meeting with Ivanka Trump on Tuesday to see what she knows. She was with her father most of the day the riots happened and was in the Oval Office for key meetings. Other White House officials told the committee Ivanka was in the room during a phone call her father had with then Vice President Mike Pence. The committee asked Ivanka to appear voluntarily, so it's not under the pressure of a subpoena.
Today, former President Barack Obama joined President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris at the White House as Biden signed a new executive order which fixes a loophole in the program. The problem is known as the family glitch. Adding family members to a plan can make premiums rise well above the intended threshold. The new executive order will change eligibility and help provide coverage to around 2,000 Americans. It will go into effect at the start of next year.
A new study found road rage shootings are on the rise in the U.S. The study carried out by the gun control group called Every Town for Gun Safety shows that incidents have been rising every year since 2018 and peaked in 2021, when an average of 44 people a month were killed or injured in road rage shootings, double the average from 2019. The analysis found 728 road rage shootings took place last year, which is the highest number in 6 years. Although the cause for the increase is unknown, the group says COVID added stress into people's lives and made existing ones worse.
According to Forbes' real-time rankings of the world's wealthiest people, Elon Musk's net worth is now $300 billion. The Tesla and SpaceX CEO is beating second place Jeff Bezos by $100 billion, even though Bezos founded Amazon and owns Musk's space rival Blue Origin. To top it off, Musk's net worth exceeds the GDPs of countries like Chile, Colombia, Finland, Pakistan, and Portugal.
Coming up in sports, the Diamond Rebs will be in action today, and the college hoop season came to a thrilling finish last night. I'll have that and more up next in sports.
I am a nurse,
a firefighter, a college student,
a mother, and I am an American soldier.
I will always be ready
for every storm
and disaster that threatens my community.
I will always be there to protect my neighbors
my family.
and my country.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
We are the Army National Guard.
Visit nationalguard.com to learn more about part-time service.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
I just found out my work party is a +1. You want to go?
This is my boss, Ella.
Nice to meet you, Greg.
You're welcome. Nope, I'm high. But I'll clean the kitchen while you're gone.
You're already making good decisions when you're high.
Pool party at Jesse's. Can you drive? I'm toasted.
Nope, I'm high. But I can order us a ride.
Don't make an exception when it comes to driving. If you feel different, you drive different.
We are Ole Miss Rebels. As Mississippi's flagship university, we dig deeper, see farther, work harder. We pioneered human organ transplants. We helped prove Einstein's theory of gravitational waves. We are distinguished as a Carnegie R1 top 2.5% research institution. We are Ole Miss, transforming lives and the world.
It's called March Madness for a reason, and last night proved exactly why. The Kansas Jayhawks are officially 2022 national champions after an unbelievable and historic comeback over UNC last night. This is only the 4th ever national championship for the Jayhawks and their first since 2008. North Carolina looked to have the game in the bag after going on an 18-3 run to end the first half. It wasn't until Kansas came in rejuvenated after the break to claw their way back into the biggest comeback in NCAA championship history. The game went down to the final 4 seconds, ending on a missed UNC three-pointer to crown Kansas the 2022 national champions. Onto the diamond, number 7 ranked Ole Miss baseball will head to Pearl, Mississippi tonight to take on number 18 Southern Miss. They'll be playing at a neutral site at Trustmark Park. Derek Diamond will earn the start on the mound for the Rebs for his 8th appearance of the year and current 6.11 ERA. Ole Miss will need to keep their offense hot to be able to put this midweek matchup in the win column. The last time these two faced off was the Oxford Regional last year. Ole Miss advanced to the Super Regional in Tucson, but not before the Golden Eagles won the first game. I have a feeling Southern Miss are still a little bitter and will be looking for some revenge tonight. First pitch will be at 6 p.m. Central Time with no streaming available. Staying on the diamond, Ole Miss softball will close out their 9-game homestand in Oxford with a doubleheader against Tennessee State tonight, with one game that started at 3 p.m. and the next starting at 5. This will be the first time that these teams have ever met and will be a return to Oxford for Elantra Cox, the Ole Miss all-time hits leader and current Tennessee State assistant coach. The first game in the doubleheader ended with Ole Miss walking away with a 10-0 win over the Tigers. The Rebels have now won 53 consecutive non-conference games while playing in Oxford, not falling to a non-SEC opponent since 2018. You can tune into the second game right now on SEC Network Plus. Checking in at the Green, all 3 of the women's golf team found success at the Auburn Invitational yesterday with a trio of top 20 finishes. The tournament was expected to have an additional third round of play today before being canceled due to concerns over weather. Ole Miss was the only team in the tournament to have every golfer finish in the top 20. The Rebs now have over a week to prepare for postseason play before Ole Miss travels to Birmingham, Alabama from April 13th to the 17th for the 2022 SEC Championships. This 5-day tournament will take place at the Greystone Golf Club. And keeping things on the links, golf legend Tiger Woods said in an interview today that he will be competing in this year's Masters tournament and believes that he can put on the green jacket for the 6th time.
The question is simple. Do you think you can win the Masters this week?
I do.
And what have you seen in your preparation that leads you to believe that?
Well, I can hit it just fine, and I don't have any qualms about what I can do physically from a golf standpoint. It's now walking is the hard part.
Many people believe that Woods doesn't have what it takes anymore to win after suffering serious leg injuries due to a horrific car accident in February of 2021. But the golf legend feels ready to go ahead of this year's Masters. Don't call it a comeback. And that's all I've got for sports. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at rebel_watch for the latest sports updates.
Thanks, Ruby. Waffle House and Adidas have teamed up for the first time ever Waffle House shoe. You're probably asking yourself, why on earth would Waffle House make a shoe? We'll answer that question next on NewsWatch Ole Miss.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Creating a legacy takes time, takes dedication, spirit, and a greater vision. That vision starts here at the University of Mississippi. What will you be remembered by? Your character, your contributions, your friendship. Your legacy will define who we are now and who we are becoming for our state, our students, and our future. Ole Miss, build your legacy.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your closet. Still no jobs? Just more stuff? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Take a look at the latest addition to the Waffle House menu, the official Waffle House golf shoe with a waffle pattern and colored to look like waffle batter with highlights of the golden brown well-cooked waffles.
And don't forget the Waffle House logo on the back. The breakfast chain is releasing the shoes on Thursday, the same day that the annual Masters tournament starts. Both Waffle House and the Masters are staples of the state of Georgia, so it only makes sense for the Waffle House to put their stamp on the game of golf.
Well, I don't know if I'll be getting the golf shoes, but how about we all go hit some golf balls, then go to Waffle House?
It sounds like a plan, Annabelle.
It's perfect timing right ahead of the Masters. Maybe we'll see our famous golfer wearing them this.
That's all for tonight. For NewsWatch Ole Miss, I'm Annabelle Kinney.
And I'm Kennedy Cooper.
Thank you and good night.
I meant favorite.